Hello, everybody. Welcome to my first Ew, who the fuck says that? Welcome to my first episode of doing this podcast. I don't even know what to call it because it's just a YouTube video. And the reason being of me just posting it as a YouTube video for now is because I just want to see where this goes. I'm just playing with it. But I did get myself a mic. And I wanted to make this real as it can be and make it professional as it can be, because if I'm going to do something, I'm putting my word to it. I'm sticking to my word, and the only way for me to really do that is to get a professional mic. I've done something like this before the pandemic happened, I would say, is that I would post a video every single every single Monday, and I would check in on you guys and see how you guys are doing with your mental health. And then also with that, I checked up on my mental health as well to see where I was. And questions that I would ask myself on a deep personal level, being vulnerable, and just doing a little bit of shadow work. So that's what I did. All those videos are private now, so you will never see those videos again unless I change the settings and unprivate it. Is that a word? Unprivate? I don't think so. But you guys know what I mean. Okay, anyways, before I get started with this video, it's going to be more of an introduction, by the way. So, the first video is going to be, talking about myself, because I feel like there's a lot of new people here, and you guys don't know much about me. You guys just, see me through pictures, and I don't really talk much. So now you guys are getting a bigger picture. You guys are getting a grasp, a hint, an idea of how I would be conversating to you guys. Does that make sense? So, hello guys, my name is Anna. This is so weird. It's like I'm doing an interview, but clearly this is just an introduction. So, my name's Anna. I'm 24. That's a big ick. Ew. I'm trying to embrace the fact that I'm growing older, but it is so hard because if I were to stay a certain age, I would probably stay either 27 or 28, even though I have not evolved to that person yet. I have not evolved to that age. I feel like at that point, my brain has developed more. I feel like I would be a lot more mature, even though I am mature at this very moment. I am more wise. I have more clarity into this world and not giving too much of a fuck. Because at this point, I still kind of do give a fuck about everything and what people think about me, but 2023, I'm really trying to get out of that mindset. Whoa! Sorry, guys. Get out of that mindset and get out of my comfort zone. So I feel like doing this podcast is going to help me in a way where I can start practicing public speaking. I do have a passion for content creation, and this is why I have always been doing YouTube. I've always been posting on my socials, and some people don't like it because they don't want to be seen like that. But for me, it's like a creative outlet where I like to post pictures of anything and everything. And it's also just a good way to get some memories in. And even though you're not big into social media, you always want to look back into your memories. Am I right or am I right? I live in Canada, Alberta, Edmonton. The worst place you can live on planet Earth, in my opinion. And I think anyone would agree on that, because where we live, it's pretty much living in Antarctica. A couple weeks ago, this place was the coldest place on Earth. And I feel like that's what everyone says. They want to move out of their hometown, and it's like, it's a shitty place to live. I don't want to be here anymore and move somewhere else. But honestly, one day, I'd like to move out of here, and that is the goal. But I'd also like to have a place here to come and visit so I can visit my family and whatnot. So I kind of told you guys a little bit about myself, but I guess as we go on through this podcast, you'll learn a little bit more about me. You won't have to be so bored about what I have to say about myself, because what I feel like is that storytelling will do its job for you guys to get to know me. But the reason why I wanted to start this podcast was because I wanted to share some wisdom and my journey of this life that I've been living, and I feel like there's a lot of wisdom for me to share to you guys, so you guys take on that advice or learn from it and not do the same mistakes I did. And then another reason why I wanted to do this podcast was because I want this to be a safe space for the both of us. So anything that I talk to you guys about, it comes with honesty and truth, because I am not a bullshitter and I will not hold back to what I have to say. And that's scary because being on social media and saying how you honestly feel about things and your opinion on things, people will try to cancel you. And that's another topic I can talk about is cancel culture. Cancel culture is a joke, honestly. Let's just say that. But I want this to be a safe space. I want it to be a place where you and I can hang out. I want you always to be coming back to this podcast and feel like you're hanging out with me. Feel like we're on FaceTime. Feel like we're actually BFFs. So that is why I made this podcast. And I don't have a lot of friends, and not like I do want to have a lot of friends, but being on the internet and seeing the same people that are just super relatable and people that I just want to talk to, they're on the internet. Like, I can't find you guys anywhere in Edmonton. Where do I find you guys? They're not here. They're on a screen. So it also just feels like a safe space for me to talk about things. I want this podcast to be a very open-minded thing, because I am not just going to be someone that's just one-sided with everything. I like to see both sides of the spectrum. I want you guys to be open-minded with the things I say too. This podcast is going to be about anything and everything. I want this to be a podcast about being productive, not being productive. You can have days where you have slow rest days and not doing anything at all. I want it to be like that. I don't want to pretend that like I'm always motivated, because I'm not. And also, do you guys like my setup in my car, by the way? Normally, you would see podcasters doing a podcast like in a living room in a nice little podcast setup area. But no, I'm doing it in my car because I feel safe in my car, and I feel like this is a safe space where I can talk about things. But moving on. So leading up to why I wanted to do this podcast is because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. And with that being said, I hope this gives you a chance, an opportunity to go for your fucking dreams as well. To go for things that you want to do in life and things that you're too afraid to do and you want to do it. I'm giving you this shot right now. If you want to be like a content creator or like start your own business or like start your own restaurant, whatever it could be, I want you to pursue your dreams. It would just be very rude of you to not go after the things that you want to go for. People are unaware. So as in people, you guys are very unaware of the inner potential that you guys carry within yourself. So you may not know that you are very good at this thing that you want to do until you do it. What I want you to do right now, find a sheet of paper, write down your goals and how you want to get there. You can't just write down your goals and say that you want that to happen, because you have to take action. So if you're not doing the things that you want to do, the only person who you can blame is yourself. I don't know many of you who may be in their mid-20s, because I am 24 now, and I think from 23 to 25, you are in your mid-20s. But anyways, going on with this topic is that we are still so fucking young. Sometimes I tell myself, like, bro, I'm like almost 30. What am I going to do with my life? I don't have time. But what we realize is that we have so much time. People who are in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, even 70s have just began their life and created something for themselves. So don't you ever say that, oh, I'm way too old to be doing something that I want to be doing, or it's too late to be starting this because everyone else has been starting. No, do not have that mentality, okay? I just started my podcast. I just started speaking to you guys as of right now. And you know how many podcasts that have been out and published ever since? Years ago. And I'm just starting. Don't tell anyone else that what you want to do is too late, because if it's something you're passionate about or something that you are very interested in, do the fucking damn thing. No one's going to hold you accountable when it is too late. So when you're on your deathbed, oh my God, I wish I did this thing. Well, who are you to blame? Just yourself. If you are someone who's been wanting to get out of your comfort zone, but you don't know how, just remember that change is a good thing. Us as humans don't like change. I don't like change. I was scared to do this podcast, but got out of my comfort zone to do this thing. If we keep starting new projects, it helps us let us be creative. You have to put that thought into your head that no one can really save you. You can find a therapist, find a mentor, but what you have to do for yourself is that you have to take action. You have to put in the work. They could be telling you all these things because they're the ones that are trying to help you. They're one of the tools that will help you be successful, be open-minded, be happy, and live a happy life. But if you can't take that action and you aren't aware of your full potential, how the fuck are you gonna get to where you want to be? When I started my YouTube channel or anything that made me feel uncomfortable, it took some time. I had to push myself to start. Especially when I launched my first business back in 2021 when the pandemic happened, I was scared shitless to even promote anything. I was scared to sell anything because I thought I wouldn't get any sales. And it was a good first experience of having a business, and it's something that I can always learn from. You're gonna hear it so many fucking times in your lifetime, I swear to God, but I'm gonna be one of those people to say it to you. You have to fail in order to succeed. So you just have to keep getting inspired by people. Read some books. Do some research on the internet. You literally have all the tools right in front of your face to start something. So when I started this podcast, I had all the tools and Google telling me this is the best mic to start a podcast. But if you're wanting to start as a beginner, you're going to have to use this mic. As you evolve, you probably want to invest in something a lot more expensive. This podcast is just going to be literally about anything. And I want to talk a lot about spirituality, the Matrix. That is a good one. That is a good topic to talk about because it is a little controversial if you don't have an open mind. You always have to keep talking about the Matrix or else people will get stuck in it. And majority of the people that are in the Matrix will have a hard time listening to this podcast. So this is why, who knows, maybe I will open up your mind a little bit more and see where you guys can take a leap on doing anything you fucking want. I'll probably talk about very vulnerable things or deep topics about my childhood trauma, moving out of a toxic household. Those are the things I'm going to be talking about as well, and just doing a lot of storytelling. Because I know I am not the only one who could relate to a lot of these things when it comes to, toxic parents and having a toxic family, not having a positive surrounding, which makes you become a little depressed, being a little delusional with some things because of your environment. But I am very excited to get things rolling here. So with this being said, of everything that I want to be talking about the podcast, I'm still doing my research. I'm still trying to figure out what I want and how comfortable I'm going to make this for myself, because I'm just in my car. And I am pretty comfortable. I mean, I'm in a really comfy seat. I'm in the passenger seat, the passenger princess seat. But I don't know what I'm going to do with this camera. I don't want to have to keep stopping the laptop to record again. This camera only records up to 10 minutes. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't want to have to keep putting up a new clip every time this camera stops. And it's just going to get annoying. So I have to figure that out. But other than that, I think this setup is pretty good. I already figured out how good this mic would sound when listening it to on a laptop, and it's pretty good. I really like this mic. But as the podcast episodes go on, I feel like I'm going to get really deep into detail with a lot of things and just doing a lot more shadow work on myself as I have this podcast, because as much as I love journaling, I feel like the only outlet I have for being vocal is being on camera. So this is just like the perfect setup. I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are too. I'm probably going to cut out and do a little bit of editing when it comes to doing these podcasts when I hesitate for too long or I don't know what to say, and I'll just have to cut through those clips. And I know people like those videos or listening to podcasts where it's just like real talk, there's no editing in between, and it's just like a full-on conversation. I love those videos too, but sometimes I end up just thinking about something before I even really say it to make sure it makes sense, and that's just how my brain works. Sometimes when I say things, I don't realize oh wait, shit, that made more sense in my head than what came out of my mouth. I don't know if you guys can relate, but that happens to me a lot. I could just be talking to myself, having a full-on conversation in my head, or saying things that I want to say out loud, and it makes so much sense, clear as can be. And then when I say things out loud, it's just 2 + 2 is 6? What? It doesn't make sense. And then people look at me are you okay? Do you need to go to a mental hospital? And I think I do. Actually, no, I don't. I'm good. But I'm just saying, like, damn, what the fuck did I just say if it made sense in my head? So, yeah, we will figure everything out as I continue on this podcast. So, for however long this podcast is going to be, we will see. I feel like this podcast episode reached to like maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but I do not know. I'm just like really excited because I have everything on my phone that I want to talk about and like topics that I want to talk about that I'm very strong on, and know that I can talk about this for hours, or just know that I'm very motivated to talk about these things. But I will give you guys a little bit of an idea. So I won't say the title because then it kind of just gives it away, and then you guys are going to be waiting to watch that episode. But there's a lot of topics on here that regard like generational trauma, childhood trauma, like I said earlier, cancel culture, self-confidence, self-love, self-growth. It's funny because this podcast setup right now is my mic, and then my laptop is on the driver's seat recording right now, and then my camera is set up right there. It's not a bad setup at all. And what I'm debating is that I could do podcasts in my car, and then also podcasts in my little creative art space area. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you guys haven't watched my other YouTube videos regarding about my new living room space area that used to be a dining room area. These two spots are going to be like my humble abode, and it's just going to be a safe space for the both of us. Because right now, I parked somewhere where I don't really go to. I just tried to find a spot where it's kind of secluded, but it's not. Like, there's cars driving by every minute or so, and cars driving by in front of me. It's not that bad because no one's parked beside me where they can just see me. So maybe I should get tinted windows, because Brayden has been... Oh, if you guys don't know who Brayden is, Brayden's my boyfriend. I talk about him in my YouTube videos, but I don't show my relationship a lot online because I like to keep things private. There's a lot of things that I do say that I probably shouldn't even be saying online, but I do. And the only thing I like to keep private is my relationship. But if I wanted to like tag him in some other pictures or whatever, you guys will know. But yeah, he's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, we'll talk about relationships too, because I have been in a 7-year relationship, and it's the fucking most healthiest relationship I've ever been in. The only relationship I've ever been in, really. All the other ones were just like not really anything serious. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, my humble abode. So I don't know how long this podcast episode is, but I think I might end it off here. I kind of started talking everywhere and talking about anything because this is just so fun, because I'm just talking about things that I'm excited to talk about, and it's not like a YouTube video where I just have to take videos of everything. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys, talking about my thoughts, talking about what's on my mind, and I'm just excited for this journey and being able to do something a little bit different. If you guys are new here, I already mentioned on my Instagram is that I am going to be doing a podcast every single Monday, and then a new YouTube a new YouTube video every single Friday. So every Monday, you're going to be listening to a new podcast for me, just getting you ready for the day, getting you excited, getting you motivated to start your week off right. And then when Friday comes, it's like, oh, we can chillax now. Like, we can watch a video from Anna, and, you know, you don't have to think about anything else because you're just watching a video of mine that is just for entertainment. But for a podcast, it's like you can sit down, chillax, do whatever you want while you're listening to this podcast episode or watching it, whatever it could be. I'm just going to be doing this podcast episode series on my YouTube first, and then when I figure more things out with doing this podcast, maybe I will put it on Spotify and then Apple Music and whatever else. But for now, this is just going to be like a podcast where you just watch. 2023 is the year I decided I'm going to talk more on my platforms, whether that being TikTok or Instagram. I've always had a hard time trying to just talk on stories or just talk in videos, is because I'm just scared of like what people might think of my voice, even though I am talking in a podcast right now. I'm just so used to posting a YouTube video, and you guys already know what I sound like. It's just on TikTok and Instagram, it's different. But I want that to be normalized for myself. I want to be talking more on my platforms because that's the only way where I can get closer to you guys. And I want to talk about things that no one would talk about. I want to talk about things where people would be like, what the fuck? Like, you're gonna get demonetized. Actually, I don't want to be demonetized. Knock on wood. There's no wood. But I just want to talk about things where it's just very out of the ordinary and people wouldn't say these things online because some people are too scared to talk about these things. And I want to be one of those people where I can break that barrier and let it be known that, there is another side to a story. But just be aware that this podcast, I want you guys to be open-minded. That is all. Yeah, I've never really seen someone do a podcast in their car. I've only seen one person do it, and that's why I got that idea from that person. And it's not like I'm stealing their idea, but it's just like, you're in such a safe space. You're in your car that makes you feel very comfortable. And I don't know her name. I've probably only seen her videos a couple of times because it just pops up and then it just gives me an idea like, dang, I want to start a podcast in my car too. Yeah, I don't think I've really seen anyone really do a podcast in their car. I'm going to have two places where I am going to do my podcast. It's either here or in my little creative art space living room area. I'm very excited. So if you guys want to stay tuned for my upcoming videos of just me talking and my entertaining videos that I will be posting every single Friday, okay? It's like the videos that I post now about like spirituality, motivation, getting your shit together, all of that, like cleaning videos. Those are going to be posted every single every single Friday. And then podcasts every single Monday. But I hope you guys are ready. I'm freaking ready. I know it's going to be a little bit of a hassle. I know it's going to take a little bit more hard work. But this is something that I want to fucking do. And I have to dedicate my time to things that I want done and things that I am passionate about. This is all just determination now. It's not even motivation. Fuck motivation, okay? I say all the time, like, this is what you can do to get motivated. And, like, I post that on my TikToks. But in the long run, it's just determination. It's about the fucking goal and how you set your goals to get to where you want to be. I'm going to end it off here, finally. This was just a very bizarre introduction podcast episode. This is what happens when you've never done something before and you're kind of going with it. Yeah, that's the motto, going with it. I'm just going with it. But eventually, throughout the next few episodes, I'll get my shit together, figure everything out, and go from there. So if you guys want to become friends with me, and you guys aren't following my other social medias, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I will have all my socials linked down below. My Instagram, my TikTok, and my posting schedule, just in case you guys forget. But every Monday, podcast episode. Every Friday, new YouTube video. There might be a week where I don't end up posting, but I'll make sure that I do get it up. And if not, you guys let me know. Okay, love you guys. See you on the next epi.